Hi, this is Julia Widup with Publishers Speak TV show, and today we are interviewing Faye LeVow of Launchpad Publishing. And Faye, tell us a little bit about what you have to offer to writers.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks, Julia. Thanks for having me today. Launchpad Publishing is a one-stop shop for all your publishing needs, but it's all about getting your message to your audience in your voice. We have a full team of professional editors, proofers, and designers so that we can work with you to actually take you beyond the book, to talk about future products, other opportunities that can help authors be successful, and your branding too. If you're writing your book as part of your business, branding becomes very, very important because you want your book to also represent who you are as a business. So we go the distance with authors. You get a marketing plan and a video book trailer. We connect you with people to help you execute that marketing plan. And we also talk with you about bulk sales because you're not going to make much money on Amazon or selling onesie twosies in a bookstore if you can get into a bookstore. You know, a lot of people are just there, people can order, but that's it. So where are you going to make your money as an author? Because if you're putting up money, then you definitely want to be able to make money too. And when you think about companies and organizations that might have a good strategic fit with your message, those companies and organizations might be interested in purchasing hundreds or thousands of your book. So we talk with you about that and how to approach these companies. We'll help you with your letter to write or your email, and what to say to the people, who you need to talk to in these companies, things like that. To me, I came to the publishing industry as an editor, okay? I had been editing books for quite a number of years, and what I found was that people didn't know where to go after I had poured my heart and soul into their book. So I started looking around for publishing companies that I could recommend. I couldn't find one that did what I thought really needed to be done to take care of an author. Here I had poured my heart and soul into somebody's book, and they were going to do it alone publishing and getting, templated designs and templated covers and no proof. I mean, it was just horrible. So, since I couldn't find what I was looking for, I started Launchpad Publishing. So I have that perspective. I know the importance of editing in a book, because if you don't edit properly, then you're going to lose the credibility that you're looking to create in your project.
Right.
There you go.
I think that's very important that you take them beyond the book, because so many authors are getting their book out and then realizing that's just the tip of the iceberg to getting their message out.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's why we start the marketing conversation from day one, because things like you need to know who your audience is. If you don't know who your book is for, you're not going to know where to find them. You're not going to know how to talk to them. Your editor's not going to know how to edit for you. Your designer's not going to know how to design for you, because everything is about reaching that audience with your message. So that's like the first step in the process, is to know your audience. And that includes their economic background, their education background, their hobbies, what do they wear, where do they shop, what do they watch on TV, if they watch TV, where do they hang out, things like that, because you need to know where to find them. And because we start that conversation right up front, then you're creating a marketing mindset for yourself at the same time. And we get you started with that marketing way before your book ever comes out. Because I'll tell you what, if you wait until you get those books in your hand that you're so excited to get,
yes,
and you have a stack of them in your living room, and you know this, Julia, if you wait until that day to start marketing, you've got those books sitting there for a long time. And that's not what you want to do as an author.
Yes. And then you're starting from... Then you're wishing you had designed it differently, maybe even written it differently, all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've had authors come back to us who've been to other companies who've done the do-it-alone route, and they come to Launchpad Publishing because they need their book turned into a professional book. And we have re-edited, redesigned, new title even sometimes for books that really haven't been put together properly for the market.
Right. The marketing's key. Okay, so they start out by contacting you to get edited, I guess, or what? What's the process?
You can go to launchpadpublishing.com and click on criteria. There is a download link on that page to our author acquisition questionnaire, and you would fill that out and send that to us along with your manuscript. We would take a look at it, and we'd call you, make an appointment to speak with you on the phone, or we could speak before you fill out the questionnaire, because it is quite a long thing. So, but that's in lieu of having to do a full-out book proposal, and it gives us a really good idea of where your head is at with regards to your book, and helps us be able to put together a pricing proposal for you, and all of that. So you have some idea of what the costs are going to be for taking care of your book.
And by identifying the audience, you know what the marketing is probably going to entail, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because like I said, we do start talking about marketing right from the beginning. So we're talking about those companies and organizations that have a good strategic fit and how to approach them. We're getting you going on your making your connections in social media, Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and all of those, particularly Facebook and LinkedIn, because you need to create that platform for yourself. Now, we're not platform driven, but it's something that you should be platform driven as an author, no matter what.
Every author has to have their own platform, right?
Mm-hmm. And you have to create it. You have to expand who you're connecting with, so that when your book comes out, and you can create that buzz beforehand, and then those people are anticipating your book, and they're going to go ahead and purchase it, whether it's online or whether it's online or in a shop or whatever.
Mhm. Okay. And what do you just do books, or do you do any other type of publishing?
Well, we've worked with people who are putting together workbooks for seminars and workshops and things like that, so we can help with that too. I have a teaching background and curriculum development and all of that, so I can help people with those kinds of things. And for some people who are writing books, that's part of their future products, is putting together workshops and seminars, and so sometimes they need assistance with those kinds of things as well. That's pretty much it.
And what about, we all are worried about these ebooks. What can you tell us about that?
Well, ebooks, I think, are here to stay. It doesn't rule out having a physical book. But I think you have to look at both, and you have to look at who your audience is. Again, is your audience an audience that has an e-reader? And if so, then will they read your book on an e-reader? And is your book the kind of book that should be read or could be read easily on an e-reader? I mean, if you've got a lot of color and things like that, that's not going to work quite yet. I mean, there's some, Nook does have color, Kindle Fire has color, but of course, not everybody has those. So again, you have to look at your audience. You want to have a physical book. If you're speaking to a group, you want to have that physical book to be able to sell in the back of the room. An ebook's not going to cut it. Someday it'll be probably everybody has their little e-reader and they run to the back of the room and they get their instant download or something, but that's not happening yet. So You do have to have that physical book.
And you can have both. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely. An ebook is a great passive income as long as you are marketing your book. I mean, just to put it up on an e-site doesn't mean that an ebook site doesn't mean that it's going to get lots of play. You need to create that buzz and do your blog tours and things like that in order to make sure that people know about it. People who have sold thousands and thousands of ebooks, they have done the marketing work to make that happen. It didn't just happen by chance. So, and we talk with our authors about the different things that they can do, again, on that marketing side to get things rolling, doing some video, for YouTube, doing some podcasts, getting teleseminar opportunities, things like that.
What about, I love to listen to books while I'm commuting and driving and stuff. I don't hear too much about audiobooks.
People are still doing a lot with audiobooks, and I think that for some of our authors, it's really a great thing. And we do have actors we can call on to read the book for them and put it into video. So there's put it into audio, I'm sorry. There's a lot of possibilities with that. And I do, when it's appropriate, I certainly do encourage people to do the audiobook as well. Most of the time, I'm talking with authors who are just starting out and thinking ahead to audio is like, whoa, that, more than they can handle. But it does get mentioned from time to time. So I appreciate that you brought that up. That's really good.
Yeah, I totally love to listen to books while I'm driving, especially for long distances. It's less boring, and you get a lot of your reading done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've done that myself quite a bit. I enjoy that very much. It's the University of the Road, right?
Right. And it seems like you should be able to just download those as MP3s and put them on a little flash. My husband's getting me one of those stereos where you can just put a flash drive in it and it'll play it.
Oh, marvelous. That's great.
So
that's awesome.
I'm thinking I'm going to download books, stick them in my car, and play.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's great. Love it.
Okay, so magazines or the workbooks and the books, and you have people to do audiobooks and ebooks. Yeah. What else is going on there at Launchpad Publishing?
Well, I do coach authors, and that would be from concept to print, obviously. And the coaching side is really for people who have that book stuck in their head. They're not sure how to get it out. They're not sure what to do. And they're kind of overwhelmed and frustrated about the whole publishing thing, have a little bit of trepidation about moving forward. So I will work with people to really get that book out of their head. And the system that I created for that allows you to be able to work on several books simultaneously without feeling overwhelmed at all. But it also allows you to take your book to the next level in a whole new way. I'll give you an example. I have a gentleman who came to me with a book, kind of an autobiographical sales motivation type of thing. He's a sales expert and sales manager and all of that, has a lot of years of great success and experience in the sales world. And when we started talking about his book, first off, he had several books in his head. So I got him started on all three books at the same time. So he was writing chapters and stuff. And one day, one book just kind of rose out of the dust. And he's actually creating a book that will revolutionize sales training forever. It's a whole new framework for sales training. And having been in sales most of my life, well over 30 years, I know the sales training that's out there, and I know the current thinking on it and all of that. And he just came up with something that was just, but brilliant and so usable, and so that's the book that he's working on now. It's almost done, right? He's fine tuning all the principles in it and everything. He's going to be creating a workbook to go with it. He's already starting to create some audio and some video, to help create buzz for it, because he's using these principles himself. And So he's talking about it from a very new sort of look to really help salespeople because he understands the process of learning it. So I encouraged him to go ahead and do that as he's also completing the book itself. And he's putting together like this whole program so he can go out and do it. And we've also talked about repurposing the principles in the book for another book that's not related to sales at all. So that's the exciting things that can happen. I mean, so this has really turned into a stepping stone for a whole new career for him to have his own sales training organization and, you know, get out there and do his thing in a new way and stuff. So it's very, very exciting. And those are the kinds of things that can happen when you work with me as a coach, because I'm not just a writer and an editor and a publisher, and a salesperson, like I said, but I have a business background. I've been in business sales and marketing for most of my life. So I have that perspective on business. And somebody said yesterday that I'm an innovative thinker and an expansive thinker. So you get to take advantage of that expansive thinking when you work with me. So it's very exciting for me and for the authors.
That does sound exciting. And do you think it was a result of working on 3 books at once that made him suddenly bloom in that one area?
I think that the fact that he was working on the 3 books at once allowed him to get all that stuff that was stuck in his head and just kind of floating around. It allowed him to get it out. And so it just kind of freed him up for new thinking. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what happened, because I'm sure you, like me, you get to thinking about a lot of stuff and it's all stuck in your head and it's rolling around and you don't know what to do with it. Right? And that's, whether it's something you're going to write about or whether it's something going on in your life or whatever it is, which is why journaling is so important. It frees up your brain so you can think in new ways and think about other things. And you can look at it because now you have it on paper. You can look at it on your computer. You can look at it in a more organized sort of fashion, and that looking will trigger oftentimes other thoughts and other lines of other lines of thinking and stuff like that. So yeah.
So that's a little system that you devised.
Mm-hmm. I have a system that makes it really easy to be able to do that.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so tell us again where people can get a hold of you.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Bless you. I hope you feel better.
I have allergies. It's spring.
Oh, right. Of course. Okay, so how to get a hold of me best would be to go to www.launchpadpublishing.com. And you can see it at the top of the screen right there. And you can connect to me through that site. There's an email option or some other ways to call me. My phone number is on there and stuff like that too. So.
Okay. All right, great. And I'm hoping that you'll be the evening that we air this interview, that you can be in the chat room so that if people have questions.
Oh, sure. I would love to do that. Absolutely.
Okay, I'll let you know when that's going to be.
Okay, yes, let me know and I'll put it in my schedule right away so I block that time off. I would love to be there in the chat room. Absolutely.
Okay, so look for her in the chat room and ask questions. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much, Julia. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with your audience.
Thanks.